Okay, we are going over our RBT notes for your comp. Alright, first up, continuous measurement. Records every instance of a behavior. Your continuous measurements are frequency, which is the number of times a behavior happens, duration, which is the length of time a behavior happens, latency, which is the reaction time from an antecedent to a behavior, and IRT, which is inner response time, which is time between two behaviors. Next up, we have discontinuous measurement, which records some instances of the behavior. We have partial interval, which is if the behavior happens at any time during the interval, whole interval, which is if a behavior happens the whole time during the interval, and momentary time sampling, which is if the behavior happens at the end of the interval. We have ABC data, which is antecedent, what happens before behavior, which is your target behavior, and your consequence, which is what happens after the behavior. DTT, your discrete trial teaching. It's a learning opportunity that is controlled by the therapist where responses are reinforced, and you have NET, natural environment teaching, which is a learning opportunity controlled by the patient. All of your crisis emergency codes. Code blue, medical. Code black, safety care. Code brown, bathroom assistance. Code E, elopement. Code red, fire. Code gray, weather. Kitchen closed, threat inside. Parking lot, flooded, threat outside. Code white, all clear. Shaping. Shaping is the process of reinforcing gradual changes in a behavior so the behavior gets closer to the target behavior. Prompting is stimuli added to increase the likelihood of a target behavior. Token system is a system where a patient receives token for every response, and once they get 5 tokens, they get reinforcement time. Your session notes have to be objective and measurable. Your client dignity is pull shirts down, keep their faces clean, just don't let it be anything that would be embarrassing. Professional boundaries. You can have no dual relationships. Supervision requirements. 5% of your monthly hours must be supervised by a BCBA. Clinical direction. ABC data. Preference assessment determines what a child is motivated for. Stimulus control transfer is a process where prompts are removed in order to bring the new behavior under stimulus control of a new stimulus. Chaining, a method of teaching using sequences of individual behaviors. Total task is all steps of the chain are learned at once. Forward task, steps learned one at a time, starting with step 1. Backwards task, steps learned one at a time, starting with the last step. Task analysis determines smaller steps in a task chain. Discrimination training. Discrimination is being able to distinct one item from another, and discrimination training is reinforcing occurrences in a behavior in one stimulus but not in another. Antecedent interventions is altering the environment before a behavior occurs. And then there's differential reinforcement, which is DRO, DRI, and DRA. DRO means other, which means to reinforce all other behaviors except the target behavior. DRI means incompatible, which means to reinforce incompatible behaviors to the target behavior. And DRA is alternative, which means to reinforce alternative, more appropriate behavior. Extinction means no reinforcement for a previous behavior.